You've tuned in to the Crispy Noodle Podcast
You realize what you've done?
with Rich Liebig
The real gangster plays his cards right.
and Michael Costanzo.
What was that you just read?
Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news.
Good times, noodle salad.
The point is, you now have the ability to be happy.
And now, here's Rich and Mike on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Woo! Yeah! How you guys doing?
What's up, everybody?
It's time for this week's episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle and your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to give you the most interesting bits of world sports, entertainment, odd news, and where else we happen to stumble across. Isn't that right, Mike?
That's right. We bring it to you with our unique sense of humor and wackiness. You never know what you're going to get here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
That's right. We have a couple topics prepared for you, but that doesn't mean we won't venture off the beaten path
That's right.
and explore the realms, the paths we can go on,
All 9 realms.
all 10 rings,
Oh, like Shang-Chi.
all 11 oceans,
Wow.
all
What are there 12 of?
12 donuts.
Ooh. A baker's dozen. We can get a 13th one in there.
Tasty. There you go. I don't know where I was going with that, but there you go. That's all the numbers that fit the print, even though this is an audio podcast. Run with that.
Yes.
Stop the presses. There you go.
All right.
That's how we'll kick off the show here at the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Thank you guys for joining us on this week's episode. We have a couple topics to get to, but before we do that, Mike, we're real quick. How you doing?
I'm good. We had the long weekend. Labor
Yes.
Day. Happy
Yep.
Happy Labes, as Nana would say.
Yeah, Labes, that's right.
Which is-
Bringing it back.
Awkward and weird, but delightful.
Just like Nana.
Just like Nana. We love you, Nana.
Yes.
No,
Check
it
out
was-
last week's episode if you didn't.
Oh my gosh, it was a riot. But no, had a nice long break. Got to see, my girlfriend's family, my family. Got to hang out with you and Rachel.
Yeah, we painted the town red in
painted
Phoenixville.
the town red in Phoenixville. Yeah, so we had a good long weekend. Got to see lots of different groups of people. Notably, though, my cousin is here as live studio audience
Yes,
right
live
now.
studio audience. There we go.
So yeah, this is pretty cool.
The Crispy Noodle Podcast, recording in front of a live studio audience.
Yes, that's the only way to do it.
Yes.
So yeah, just a lot of rest and relaxation, just hanging out with friends and family this week.
Yep,
you know?
perfect way to celebrate the holiday weekend.
How about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I'm not gonna lie. It was good.
Did
Monday, I literally did nothing. It was fantastic.
That's the best thing to do.
I did-
on an extra day.
I did absolutely nothing, and it was everything I thought it could be.
Look, every once in a while, you just want a day where you wake up like, not too late, but like 10, 11 o'clock, and you just do like absolutely nothing. You just, I like to lounge around in like basketball shorts and a t-shirt. Like I don't do that all the time. But and just no chores, no visiting people, no.
Yeah.
And you just sit there and vegetate.
So real quick, there is something I did do.
Okay.
Me and Rachel, we got bored, and we were watching movies that we either heard was bad or just like the description of it was bad or something.
Okay,
So
classic.
we're watching a couple movies, and before you know it, we go through the Bond collection,
Okay.
and we get to Moonraker, and she goes, "What's Moonraker?" And I'm like, "Oh, let me tell you this one. This is literally the fact that Star Wars came out in 1977, and Albert Broccoli told the writers, like, hey, we need to send James Bond into space. Do it. Whatever the next one is.
That's the weird one where he.
Goes to space.
And it's literally like
James Bond goes to space.
Isn't the plot like basically Star Wars except with spies, kind of?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow, creative.
It's part Spy Who Loved Me, part Star Wars, and just absolute sheer ridiculous. And part like Women of the Amazon Jungle. Because I totally forgot about there's a scene where right before they get to space, the lunar base is in South America or something. It's in some sort of jungle setting.
They just need an excuse for James Bond to go look at scantily clad women.
Correct.
It's okay.
Correct.
It was the 70s Bond film.
Correct. That's exactly what it was for. So for some odd reason, the base where they launched the shuttles is in like this jungle habitat, and all the attractive women are dressed very scantily clad.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's a wonderful movie. Go check that out, Moonraker. Why not? It's
What a glowing review.
yes, so bad it's fantastic. But you love those kind of movies too. So
I love those movies.
there you go. That should be on.
I'm trying to watch The Room again, but I just haven't found enough time. Because I really want to watch it again and digest it, analyze it, and
Okay, you want to watch it again?
I do.
All right.
Yes.
Let's do that next weekend.
We absolutely should.
There we go. Perfect. We got our weekend plans made.
Everybody
there you go.
should watch the Room.
All right. So there we go. Now you know what we're up to this weekend. All right. How about we move from our personal lives? We got to get to news topics. And it's a big one this week in the world of sports. So let's hit the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports.
In your face. Ha ha!
Yep, sports coming at you in your face.
This is the week I've been waiting for.
Yes, it is. Mike is very happy. It is the beginning of the 2021 NFL season.
It's motherfucking goddamn sons of bitchin' fucking football.
Yes,
That's
there you
right.
go. Kick off the football season with the Angry Video Game Nerd sound clip there. All right. I figured this is something we haven't done yet. We usually do this
No.
a little bit earlier in the year, but
Well, we've been busy on the podcast.
yes. So let's go over the Philadelphia Eagles schedule, and we're going to try and see. We're going to try and predict how well the Eagles will fare this year.
Yep.
So up first, this is their season opener. They go to Atlanta against the Falcons. What do you think, Mike?
I think that the Eagles have a decent chance of winning against Atlanta. Atlanta, they didn't really do much last season.
No. They
But-
added Kyle Pitts.
Oh my God, that's
Yep.
right. Oh, never mind. This is a loss.
Thank you. That's a loss.
I forgot about Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
Oh man.
I think that's a loss, especially away on the road. I think that's a tough opener.
Oh man, this is the segment where I realized that you're correct in going under 6, right?
So I said earlier when we were first talking about Las Vegas lines and stuff. The Las Vegas line was 6.5 total wins for the Eagles. I would go under.
So after this, maybe we place a bet.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
All right.
Week 2, 49ers come to Philly.
So we're hosting the 49ers. They're running with Jimmy Garoppolo, from what I understand. You told me before the show. Actually, from looking at the betting odds, people think they might go far
Yeah.
this season.
They have a good defense.
So, unfortunately, I think this one might also be a bubble one. I think maybe they lose the home opener as well.
All right, there you go. Week 3, Monday night game. Eagles have to go to Dallas.
At Dallas, that's a loss.
Yeah, I agree there as well. And then it's only going to get worse here, folks. Week 4, Kansas City. Andy Reid, Big Red, comes to Philly.
That is also a loss.
Yep.
We have no shot. Like some of these other games, like Atlanta, San Fran, Dallas, like you can make arguments either way.
It's
right?
a rough start. This is a
really rough start. Kansas City, though, that is absolutely 110% a loss.
Yep. Week 5, Eagles go to Carolina.
Now, here's one that I think they could actually steal. I think out of these first 5 games, I think they have the best chance against Carolina.
Okay, so you want me to put that one as a win?
Yeah, I say put that one as a win. Who's Carolina running with at quarterback?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, see, I don't think that inspires much hope in me for the Panthers, unfortunately.
Then week 6, Tom Terrific comes to town, the Super Bowl defending champions.
That's a loss as well.
You are a secret Brady fan, you son of a bitch.
I said that's a loss. What do you want from me? It's going to be what? You want me to say they're going to beat Tom Brady and the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Tampa Bay?
No, I just love to make fun of you on that.
I know you do.
The one caveat though with that game is that is a Thursday night game. I wonder if that could, if there was even a sliver of hope, it would be that.
Tom Brady's old, so maybe he can't get back into game shape in just 4 days.
So that could
Maybe.
be the sliver of hope. But other than that, I agree with you. I don't see the Eagles pulling that one off. Then week 7, Eagles go to Vegas.
I'm going to go back to Tampa Bay real quick.
What?
The Eagles did beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was with a whole different team.
Yeah, a whole different team.
A whole different head coach, too.
Yeah, but
There's nothing from the 17 team on this.
we still have a
Fletcher Cox.
relatively strong defensive front
That's
four.
That's it.
Brandon Graham
Brandon Graham. 2.
You show some respect for that defensive line,
2.
Rich.
Week 7, Eagles go to Vegas.
This one I think could be a win.
It's possible. You just never know what you're going to get with the Raiders.
Yeah, you could. They're one of those weird, like, middle-of-the-road teams. 8, 9 wins, something like that.
And
So
you don't know what John Gruden is going to do.
They're kind of in constant disarray, though.
Yeah.
So I give I think I give the slight edge to the Eagles, but just ever so slightly. Put it as a win for now.
Okay, we're going to put that as a win. Here's another good team going to Detroit.
Now, this is actually interesting.
That should be a win.
This should be a win, but they got Matt Stafford. No. They have
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff now.
Wrong quarterback.
I
There you
know.
go.
I got them mixed up. I'm looking forward to this week, but I haven't prepared at all. Clearly.
You're a little tired from Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
All right, then the Chargers come to Philly.
I think this one might be a loss.
I think that's a loss. Chargers are a pretty good roster.
I think they're
Justin Herbert's he's on the ascent.
Yeah, they're on the ascent. I think that could be a tough game for the Eagles.
Then week 10, Eagles go to Denver.
It'll be tough to play them in Denver, but I think that we could sneak away with a win here.
I
don't have much confidence.
Denver, I just can't believe how they refuse to get a decent quarterback.
Right, which is why I think that that the Eagles could sneak away with a win here.
You would think Denver, with some of the weapons they have and the way their defense is built, like they really could. If they had just like a top, 12 or top 15 quarterback, they could probably, make some sort of postseason push.
Right.
But they settled for Teddy Bridgewater this year. And, I mean, he's good, but he's not.
Bridgewater is bridge quarterback.
Exactly. And he's not going to add wins to your total.
No.
So what should we do here?
I think give the Eagles the benefit of the doubt. Hear me out. We're getting deeper into the season. Maybe they're getting their footing a little bit. We have a lot of young guys.
So
maybe with the added experience.
You want to go with a win there?
I say give them the win. Give them the win.
Okay. All right.
Because they're going to lose this next one.
Yep. Then they got the Saints.
I don't care who the quarterback is with the Saints. We can't keep up with Michael Thomas.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Darius Slay. I mean, I don't think he can keep up with him.
Okay. Then we have the Giants.
So we should be able to beat the Giants. I think out of all the division opponents, the Giants should be the team that we can win games against.
Okay. Then still in New York, Jets. They go back to back. Giants, Jets.
Dear Lord, this should be a win. This is the added game.
Yeah.
The awkward added game.
Correct.
So, this is interesting because they're going back to back weeks in the Meadowlands, just with different teams.
Right. So they're staying in New York.
Yeah. They should win.
Okay. Then they have the bye week finally, week 14.
That is a really late bye week. I mean, and this is such a huge detriment to this team with a lot of new players in an extended season. To have it that late, it's going to be brutal after 2 weeks on the road, even if it's just down the road. This is just not a great position for the bye week.
Then it's all division opponents from here on out. We got the first meeting with Washington in Philly.
I'll give them one against Washington in Philly. Home field advantage coming off a bye. I think they could probably sneak one out.
All right. Then the second meeting against the Giants.
They should be able to sweep the Giants. The Giants are. You don't think so?
No, considering Daniel Jones ran 80 yards on us.
Okay, that was a different regime, though.
No, it's the same exact one. Are you talking about the Eagles are the same?
The Eagles.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Giants are different.
No. The Eagles have a different, head coach, different game plan, different everything in place. I don't think they'll let Daniel Jones run for 85 yards again. If they do, then we don't deserve to win any games.
All right,
but they should look. Out of all the division opponents, the Giants are one of the worst in the division, one of the worst in the league, right there alongside the Eagles. The Eagles have the potential to, I think, sweep the Giants like they have many years in the past.
When they were good. All right, week 17.
Hold on, you really think the Giants can beat the Eagles?
Oh, yeah. Especially if Saquon Barkley is 100%. Oh, yeah. I think there's a chance.
Keep some faith, Rich.
I'm a Philadelphia fan. There is no faith.
There is no God.
Week 17, second meeting against Washington.
That we lose.
All right, and then the season finale, Dallas comes to Philadelphia.
That we also lose.
All right, so you have the Eagles at 8-9.
8? Wait, 8?
Yeah.
No, what 8 games did I say they won?
You have according to what you just said, you have them winning versus Carolina, versus Raiders, versus Lions, versus Broncos, 2 for New York and the Jets, and then splitting Washington.
All right, take one away from New York. 7. I don't think they go under 6. I don't think they go under 6.5.
Yeah. Okay. My edit.
Okay, so yeah, what's your edit?
My edit would be they lose more division games. I think the division actually got better. They could lose both Washington games. Ryan Fitzpatrick has a habit of burning us. You remember that one? Remember, was it the Dolphins?
You think he's going to burn us twice?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Okay,
It's
so,
magic.
All right, so wait, hold on. What do you have them going in the division?
I would probably 2-4.
That's what I just said. Take away one of the New York.
No,
games.
you have them winning both Giants.
I said take away one of the New York ones.
So then they're like 3-3 because you have them losing. What,
I have
2-2?
them. They're swept by Dallas, and they split Washington and New York. So it's 2.
So you have 2-4. All right.
I
So
have 2 and
I
4.
guess I would have like 1-5.
1-5.
The division got a little bit better while the
Got a
Eagles
little
were
bit better, but
cleaning
it's-
house.
Yeah, but it's still the worst division in football.
Yeah. And the Eagles are dealing with a new head coach, essentially a new quarterback. I know he played 4 games last year, but he didn't really show that much. I mean,
Every
I
report out of training camp says that Jalen Hurts has been impressive.
that's good for training camp. You have to. There's a whole different level when it's actually the season on the line. It's a whole different ball game. I am not expecting much. I think, and I also think the way the schedule is set up also hurts the Eagles too, with that rough stretch for the first 6 games of the season.
Yes, they have
gonna
a
go
rough stretch, but they added talent in the secondary. They added talent at wide receiver. They have the line coming back at full strength, something that we didn't have for long stretches of last season. And Jalen Hurts now with a full offseason to learn a new system that teams have not seen yet, and a dual threat quarterback that teams don't have a lot of tape on. I think you're undervaluing a lot of these intangibles that could, in certain cases, swing in the Eagles' favor. I think especially in a weak division, late in the season where anything is up for grabs, especially with a lot of
true with this division.
A lot of these games are at home too late in the season. And coming off a bye, yes, it's late. We're going to lose a lot before the bye, but hopefully that rest and that final stretch, having 3 out of 4 at home, I think is crucial. I think we do go 2-4 in the division, and I think we end up 7-10. I hate this. I hate this season.
You hate doing the new math.
I think that's the worst part is the fact that they added that stupid game and now nothing sounds right. 7-10. It's been 7-9 since I was born. How dare they?
Yeah, what are we supposed to do now? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical, but maybe that's just a Philly fan in me.
Okay, so if you had them going 1-5, I guess that puts you exactly at 6-11.
And I think to start out the season, they're probably going to be 1-5 or 0-6. It's going to be a rough stretch this first start of the season.
Oh, I agree there. I think they only win against Carolina in that first half of the season, basically.
Well, I think that's a good transition to this part of the Sports Sampler. Bringing it back, it is time to bring back the Fantastic Four picks, week number 1 of the NFL 2021 NFL season. We are here at last. Mike, what games should we look at for the Fantastic Four?
Well,
picks?
first up, we have the season opener on Thursday. If you're watching the podcast, that's tomorrow night. If you're listening to it, it's on right now, and go check it out. It's the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the team that the NFL and ESPN always wants to win the Super Bowl versus the team that actually won the Super Bowl in a primetime matchup. Rich, can Brady start the season off on the right foot with a win against Dallas?
Absolutely. Although Dallas is going to be better and they got Dak back, I still see that they're going to have some problems getting up to speed with this season. Whereas Tom Brady coming off a Super Bowl win, it's hard to bet against Tom Brady. And I think, you know what? Something else too that's weird is Dallas is trying to claim that they're the underdogs in this. Like Jerry Jones has been.
They have such a martyr complex, okay? Can we
Yeah.
just get one thing straight? Dallas, they're always like, oh, woe is me. But then they're also like America's team. No, you can only have one of those things.
Yeah.
You can't have both. You can't both be a martyr and America's team. Pick one.
Yeah. It's a weird vibe I'm getting from this Cowboys team. I don't think it happens week 1. I think Brady takes the win to start off the season.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Bucs pick up where they left off. They get a win here against Dallas. I just think Brady. I don't think Dallas is going to be that good. Like, yes, their offense has tons of weapons, but their defense is just not there.
No.
And Brady, he just knows what he's doing. And the Dallas Cowboys, they have cohesion issues, they have defense issues, they have COVID issues as well, still a factor here in the 2021 season. So I think the Bucs win it easy.
Yep.
Next, we have 2 AFC contenders. The Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling to Buffalo to face off against one of, I think, the best teams in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills. Rich, who do you like in this one?
I really like the Buffalo Bills in this matchup. I see this being a pretty one-sided affair here. I don't trust the Steelers. I know there's been reports that they're looking good in practice and everything, but I just can't see Big Ben Roethlisberger at what age, 38, 39?
With injury concerns.
With injury concerns, hobbling around, leading this team to a postseason berth. I don't see it happening. Whereas the Bills, everything's going in the right direction for them. They got, Josh Allen that's on his way to being a top 5 quarterback. Defense is elite, coming off of last year's performance. And I think this is all Bills. I don't see how this swings into the Steelers' favor.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement here. The Steelers, I think, are going to be decent this year. They always are. But what did I say before the podcast where I said Father Time comes for everyone at some point? And Big Ben, I thought last year may have been his last year. He's got injury concerns. He's old. I just don't see him being able to compete.
There you go. We have a chime.
Have a chime. See that? Even Windows agrees with me. That agrees with the both of us that Buffalo's going to win this game.
There you go.
So we have Microsoft's stamp of approval. Let's see if it also agrees with this next matchup. Forgot to silence those notifications.
Yeah, whoops.
We have a playoff rematch between the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs. Who thought we'd ever be talking about a matchup like this? Rich, this is an intriguing one. The Cleveland Browns are not to be written off.
No.
They proved that last year. What do you think? Who gets the early jump start here?
Cleveland might be able to pull this one off. They've got more weapons, in terms of everyone coming back that's healthy. I can't wait to see Odell jive in this offense with a running engine between Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. I mean, if those 3 pieces are all working together, there's no reason why Baker Mayfield can't have a successful season this year. But at the same time, it's still hard to go against Big Red and Patrick Mahomes. I think the Chiefs will get the edge just slightly in a close victory.
This is a really tough one. I saw this matchup and I was like, wow, this could very well be. I hesitated to put, playoff preview, but I think both these teams are going to be there at the end in the AFC playoffs. But it's so tough because the Cleveland Browns are definitely still on the ascent. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs got embarrassed in the Super Bowl. They got exposed. Could they be suffering a little bit from a Super Bowl loser's curse in this season? I think potentially, but just not against the Browns in Week 1. I think Week 1, Andy Reid does a good job of preparing his teams. I think they win this one, but I don't think they reach the same levels as they did last season.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong, but it's so close. I want to say Browns. in my heart, I want to say Browns, but in my mind, I'm like, no, the Chiefs are still better on paper. So I'm going to give the slight edge to the Chiefs, just like you did.
All right.
And finally, we have the hometown Philadelphia Eagles at the Atlanta Falcons. Rich, it's a battle of the birds. Which bird will rule the roost?
I think the Falcons are going to pull this one off. Matt Ryan, I think, is still a quality quarterback. I know there's criticisms on him, but coming into this year, he's got weapons. You know, Calvin Ridley is somebody that's not to be underestimated. Now you got Kyle Pitts as their number one tight end, who can pretty much do everything as a receiver. I think this one is prime for the Falcons to take, especially with the Eagles, you know, trying to handle a new head coach, everything like that. I think the Falcons take this one.
This is such a tough one because I don't necessarily trust the Falcons, but I have the same amount of trust in the Philadelphia Eagles. I know, tight ends always give us trouble, and Kyle Pitts being such a dominant, not just tight end, but hybrid style player where he could, you know,
he can line up anywhere.
He can line up anywhere, really, on the offense. But the Falcons, on the other hand, will have their own issues to deal with the Eagles. I mean, Devonta Smith, you know, everybody said that either him or Jamar Chase were the two best wide receivers. So we have, you know, we can't forget the fact that we have a top 10 draft prospect, and we don't know what that's going to bring to the offense. Jalen Reagor as well, another year in the offense. Not the offense because it's a new one, but with the team, you know, maybe we come out and we shock some people. This sucks.
We better make a pick soon.
All right, I'm going to go with, you know what? No, I'm going to keep the faith, even though I said they would lose this game just a few minutes earlier. I'm going to say the Eagles win. I'm going to say the Eagles shock in week 1 and then come crashing back down to earth in week 2.
All right, there you go.
I have to give us some positivity, Rich. The entire segment, we were just talking about how bad the Eagles are, Maybe they surprise here. Miles Sanders, healthy offensive line, new weapons, new coach, quarterback that people don't have a lot of tape on. We could surprise here.
All right. Well, there you go. That's our fantastic 4 picks for week number 1 of the NFL season. There you go, with the special dance music too.
I like that.
It's been so long since we played that. I didn't know what it was called. I was trying to find where was the file.
Is that the Fantastic Four music?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
But like, it's been so long because we couldn't do it at all last year because of COVID,
Right.
and we didn't have the equipment to do it virtually. So that was like the first time we played that in 2 years.
Yeah.
So weird. Damn COVID just messing everything up. But there you go. That will wrap up sports for right now. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because coming up next, we still got the entertainment entree and then this week's odd news and the non-fortune cookie odd news. So still more shows still to come. We'll be right back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Don't go anywhere.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 a.m, this is what you're going to get. Yeah.
That clip was
so-
already coming into play. I
Yes,
love it.
already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on? That was
I don't
weird.
know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh my god.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're gonna have to. Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart
and-
once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine what medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Ooh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We are done the sports sampler. Hopefully, you know what I'm doing? I'm expecting the worst from the Eagles. So that way, if they are good, it's a whole surprise and it's a win-win.
Exactly. You always got
Philadelphia mentality. Expect the worst.
I have to try and have a little bit of hope, though. I know they're going to be terrible. I know they're going to be bad. I just got to give me something, Rich.
Yeah, I don't know what's something I can give you.
I don't know.
It could be it could get dicey real fast.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, it's not looking great.
Right. Well, that's why we don't have just sports here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We also have the world of entertainment with the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
Yeah, there you go. Entertainment entree time. And let's go right into the segment where Mike is going to let you know what to keep an eye out for with movies, TV, and video games this week in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for us?
All right. Well, this week in entertainment, first up, just a quick note. Video games, a new month means new free games for PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold subscribers. So if you've subscribed to either service, make sure you go pick up your free games starting this week. But in the world of TV, we have a fun show returning to Netflix. Lucifer begins its 6th season on Netflix this Friday, September 10th. Rich is a fan of it. My cousin Josh was a fan of it. My parents are a fan of it. I've never seen it. Rich, tell me, what is the deal with Lucifer? What makes this so interesting?
Lucifer is a great show. It started out on broadcast TV, which it never should have been.
With a title like Lucifer, it makes you think that it should be a streaming show.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume it's about the devil.
Yes. It kind of morphed into a weird crime procedural show, but when it moved from Fox to Netflix, it really found its footing as more of being a supernatural drama show, and that's where it shines, in my opinion.
Okay.
Although there are some episodes that are great in the first 3 seasons, the latter seasons on Netflix is really where it's hit its stride. And it's been a fantastic show to binge and watch and enjoy. So I'm a little bittersweet that this is coming to an end, but I'm interested to see how they wrap up this show, especially after the way they ended last season. So it's been a little bit of a breaking development in the spiritual world that happens in the at the end of the 5th season. So
okay,
it'll be interesting to see how they try and finish this off in the 6th and final season.
I like what you said about supernatural drama. See, that intrigues me more than procedural.
Yeah.
Network shows tend to go the procedural route. You know, there's so many cop shows.
Yeah.
It's a cop show with a gimmick. It's a cop paired with a doctor, paired with a lawyer, paired with the devil, whatever it is. It's the same shtick.
Yeah.
It's a fish out of water cop.
Right. But when Netflix took it, bought the rights to it, took it over, they made it into something even more on a grander scale, and it really works.
Interesting. So there you go, everyone. Check out Lucifer this Friday on Netflix for some supernatural drama.
Yeah, and also the guy that plays Lucifer is awesome. I forget his name now off the top of my head, but he is the perfect guy to cast for Lucifer.
To play the devil?
Yeah.
Okay.
That guy was born to play the devil.
Wow.
Like, he fits perfectly.
Okay, there you go. So go check out Lucifer if you want some devilishly good TV. If you want some devilishly dumb TV, go check out a new Peacock exclusive. I can't believe I'm going to say this. A reality TV show, game show, based on a video game, Frogger, comes to Peacock this week.
Well, didn't they already do this with Seinfeld?
They did.
Yeah.
You're right. So
this isn't really that unique of an idea. There has been real world
There
Frogger.
have been real world Frogger, yeah.
Come on, NBC, do better.
You got to do better than this. I watched the trailer. It seems cringy AF. But if you want to see yet another obstacle course style show, go check out Frogger on Peacock. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, there you go. Thank you for that segment, Mike. This week in entertainment. All right, so this teaser trailer just debuted today after Labor Day, and everybody that is affiliated with this movie is talking with it. Anyone that is a fan of this movie, we're all talking about it. And that is the teaser trailer for the Matrix 4 movie, which they are going to call Matrix Resurrections. I love the fact that they're keeping the R.
I do like that. That is a good touch.
The alliteration is still strong with this franchise.
Yes.
This has been a very long time that this has laid dormant, and now it's suddenly here. Like, I mean, I didn't even... I wasn't even aware that they had finished filming. Like, I remember hearing that the Lana Wachowski now is the person's name that is right that did the Matrix and is now doing Matrix 4. I had heard that she was they were writing a script and they were getting Keanu Reeves on board and everything like that, but I didn't hear the status of shooting and was it completed and anything like that. And then all of a sudden it's just bam, teaser trailer today, and it was whoa, all right.
Yeah, I had heard rumors online, this is in the works, this is going to happen, everyone's so excited, and all of a sudden it was just
done.
It was
it's
just
here,
yeah.
Here it is. And apparently it's coming out both in theaters and on HBO Max. So another interesting decision there as well.
Yeah. So I mean, definitely makes the decision easy as to whether or not go see it. If you have HBO Max, I mean, just watch it. It's free.
Yep.
But
does that hurt it a little bit? I hate to say it, but I think it does a little bit.
So hurt it in what regard?
That
it's not the same impact as seeing it on the big screen, or do you mean as a testament to its quality?
I'm worried that this might not be in the same quality length as the other quality control as the other 3 movies.
Just because it's going to streaming and theater at the same time?
Just that
Because the latest Mortal Kombat did a no. So I get what you're saying. A lot of shows, not shows, movies that have premiered on streaming during the pandemic have not been great.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's, if it's just because they're premiering on streaming or whether it was because filming during the pandemic may have hampered things, or maybe it's just Hollywood being Hollywood. Most movies are not good. As somebody who looks at, new releases for this week in entertainment, I can personally attest to the vast majority of films are trash. They've always been trash. Everybody says, movies used to be better. No, it's just because those are the ones we remember 50 years later. Most movies are trash. I've watched enough B movies on Amazon Prime to know that. So I don't know, but I do get what you're saying though, because most movies, like,
I feel like if
look at Disney Plus, Raya and the Last Dragon, Black Widow, simultaneous premieres, Mulan, they were all garbage.
Well, Black Widow wasn't.
I mean, I didn't see it.
No, but that wasn't.
It was premiere. It was premiere access on Disney Plus.
But you had to pay more for it.
Yes, premiere access.
Okay, I guess that falls into its
own
category.
So were the other ones, Mulan and whatchamacallit, Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yeah.
You're right. There is somewhat of an indictment against the quality, like Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah. See,
like there haven't been.
To me, it seems like if this was gonna be like a top tier movie, I feel like the movie studios wouldn't want this out on the streaming service right away. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does. It does. I don't know that there is, if it's going to
conscious decision on that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, if it's coming out on streaming, it's absolutely going to be bad. There does seem to be a trend here.
Yeah.
That if it comes out on streaming, it's usually of, a lesser quality,
right,
with the exception of Pixar movies on Disney Plus. But that is, again, besides the Pixar movies and Mortal Kombat, which I genuinely thought was good, every other movie that I've seen that premiered on streaming was, to your point, subpar.
Yeah. I'm also kind of worried that this is, again, one of those things that it breaks the trilogy. Like, I as much as people like to crap on Matrix 2 and Matrix 3, I think that even though it may not be as good as the very first Matrix, I think it completes a nice story arc. I think it works as a standalone trilogy, and it's a nice story that is nice and fleshed out and works in the universe. Now you're throwing a curveball, and now it's Matrix 4, and it's like, oh, so then the story's not over. And I'm worried that's going to kind of take away a little bit from whatever happens in the Matrix trilogy, the original trilogy, which can happen. I hate to say it, but see Star Wars. Like, I kind of feel like after watching the sequel trilogy, it kind of ruins Return of the Jedi a little bit. It's like, oh, then Luke didn't stop all the evil forces in space then, because
right,
we have the sequel trilogy. Like as much as people like to say, oh, that shouldn't affect your viewing of a previous movie, it still kind of does. So I'm worried that this may have the same effect if it's not good, that it kind of ruins, or it leaves a bad taste in your mouth thinking of the Matrix franchise, which is a shame, because I really think the Matrix film franchise is a great series of films. I know Matrix Revolution is not, people kind of scoff on it, and I think there is some validity to some of the criticisms in Matrix 3. But I think overall...
I was one that did not care for the sequels.
I think overall, if you really go back and look at 1, 2, especially 1 and 2, I really like Matrix Reloaded. Reloaded, I really find an enjoyable ride. But again, people love to criticize on it. I think it's a good story told between the 3 movies.
Okay. I see what you're saying. My issue here is, to your point about adding on to the trilogy and, damaging, damaging the legacy of it. My biggest problem is not the fact that there's a 4th movie, but the fact that it's almost 20 years later.
Yeah, it's a long gap.
The Matrix Revolutions came out in 2003. We're now at what, 18 years later?
Yeah, it's a long gap.
You know, I understand the hypocrisy in saying this. You know, I'm really looking forward to the next Ghostbusters movie, which has the same flaw. But I think the difference is that Ghostbusters, was it Afterlife?
Yeah.
You know, they're taking it in a different direction. Whereas watching the teaser trailer for Matrix Resurrections, I mean, it's right there in the title, Resurrections. They're bringing back this franchise literally from the dead, because dead is what it is. I mean, since 2003, we've had no Matrix, movie releases.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it was a critical and commercial flop. Bringing in, I'm looking at the numbers here, almost half of what the second movie brought in worldwide. Review scores in the toilet as well. And so to try and go back to something that was buried, I mean, quite literally for 2 decades, is, I think, an odd choice. And I think they're mostly doing it because Keanu Reeves is really hot right now. Between the Bill and Ted revival, the John Wick, craze. I think also the fact that Keanu Reeves is an internet meme. They know they're going to sell tickets because Keanu Reeves' name is attached to the film. And people are going to go see it to support good guy Keanu Reeves and sad Keanu Reeves and all the other memes out there. And I really do think that it is I'm worried that, and I don't think it will be. This is a completely, fantastical worry here, but I'm going to say it anyway, that, it's a quick cash grab.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 years later, a franchise that's dead, they're clearly trying to capitalize on the pop cultural relevance of Keanu Reeves right now. I mean, why else bring back a franchise that only brought in $420 million worldwide?
That's not that far-fetched of an argument, especially considering when you look at the cast list on this, it's literally only Neo and Trinity coming back from the original. I mean, pretty much. Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne is not in this movie. Agent Smith, he's not in this movie. I mean, that's not to say that outright strikes out the movie, but at the same time, that is a little worrisome that major players from the main trilogy are not in this.
3. Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, and Jada Pinkett Smith, who had a, sort of secondary role. There's the only 3. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris is in it for some reason.
There you go.
I see on the Wikipedia page. So, I don't know. It worries me a little bit. The trailer was really cool.
Yeah.
So I'll say that. The trailer was really cool. The trailer makes me want to see it. I will watch it on HBO Max.
Yes.
I will partake. But I'm one of those people that thought that Reloaded and Revolutions was not good. I thought they were all over the place. I thought it was nonsensical. I never had any desire to rewatch the second and third movies. I thought the first movie was fantastic.
Yes.
Revolutionary for its time. Like, invented so many things that you hadn't seen in movies and you've seen lots of times since. Bullet time. Like, absolutely stunning, right? When it first came out. And then it just got it became too self-absorbed. Like, they got very, into its own mythos, and I think to its detriment, it was trying to be way too heady and way too involved, and it just got messy, and they lost the reins a little bit on it in 2 and 3. And my fear is that trying to continue on from a derailed, buried corpse of a franchise is going to make a derailed
fourth movie. That's fair. I tell you what, though, I really do like Reloaded, though. I really like the second one.
I honestly don't remember anything from those movies. Like, the first movie I can remember. The second and third were completely forgettable to me.
The second one I really enjoyed, between some of the new characters, the French Marigovian, where they're eating in the restaurant scene, and he has he talks about like fate and stuff, and he gives like some customer cake that like makes the girl orgasm. Like, yeah, you don't even remember that.
No, I don't.
Yeah, there's some good parts in Reloaded. I remember that scene.
Okay.
And I love the architect, the old guy at the end of the movie, explaining like how he created the Matrix and stuff. He uses like these big like apropos and
Apropos.
yeah.
He used words like apropos.
I have never heard another human being naturally use the word apropos in conversation. And like there's another one. Vis-a-vis and like all these like weird like like that was just like somebody had to look up, unless this person actually exists in real life. Somebody like went into like the thesaurus or the dictionary and was like, what are some fancy phrases to use while doing exposition dialogue?
The screenwriter was like, how can I make this character seem as pretentious and pompous as possible?
Apropos and vis-a-vis.
Apropos. Oh,
and,
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Indubitably.
Yeah. Ergo. That was another one, too.
Ergo, indubitably, the vis-a-vis apropos.
If you go back and rewatch the scene with the architect, it is hilarious how many like weird phrases he uses, and you're like, nobody uses these phrases in commonplace talk.
I've heard maybe these phrases maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
Like in 32 years on this earth, I mean, like used naturally.
Right.
Right? Like once
Right. That's what
or
I'm saying,
twice. Like less than a
naturally.
handful, yeah.
Right.
Nobody goes around saying apropos.
Right.
I think I have maybe said it once myself.
Vis-a-vis. Yeah.
Never vis-a-vis.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody
So-
says stuff like that.
Right. So I don't know. Maybe that's why it strikes a chord with me, because I love people with
you
like
the weird.
Yeah, I love people with like weird natural inflections or words that they love to use. So that always gets me go. Yeah, I'm like, ooh, that's it. What's he talking about?
So maybe you'll really enjoy Resurrections then.
But see, that's the thing. I don't know. Is it going to be like, you know,
It's
is it
gonna
be like that? Is it
it's
going to
gonna
be
be
more
bad.
like Revolutions?
Here's the thing.
To me, Revolutions is where it lost its way.
Revolutions
really
was
rough.
It was bad. Here's the thing. I think a Matrix movie in today's world would be very interesting, especially with the technology available to filmmakers now, and just where we are in the information age and how things have changed culturally and societally. I think a Matrix movie would be very apropos.
Apropos.
However, I feel like, going back to your point about the legacy of these things, I'm not worried about it damaging the legacy. I'm worried about the damaged legacy lingering.
Okay. With that, I think we got to end that, because we got to get to another topic in entertainment that you want to talk about here with video games.
Yes. So
vis-a-vis, go.
Vis-a-vis, I will go. So recently, PlayStation announced that their exclusive Horizon Forbidden West opened up pre-orders. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of a PR nightmare for Sony, because Sony had previously promised PlayStation 4 owners of the game that they could upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version for free. So Horizon Forbidden West is a cross-generation release on PlayStation 4 and 5, and they previously said that PlayStation 4 owners could upgrade for free. When they announced pre-orders, people noticed that there was no way to upgrade. There was no mention of it, and that certain copies of the game, certain pre-order bundles included both copies, and then there were certain versions that had one copy or the other, but no mention anywhere of any sort of ability to upgrade. And then it turns out that Sony confirmed there was no way to upgrade from the PlayStation 4 version to the PlayStation 5 version, even if paying a fee. So this, of course, makes everybody very angry. They said, but you promised. And they did. They did promise. And then they were going back on it, maybe hoping that nobody would notice. People noticed because it's the internet and it's 2021. So, of course, Sony had to walk back and promise everyone that there would be a free upgrade for the PlayStation 4 owners of the game to the PlayStation 5 version. But then they also said this: all future exclusives that are cross-generation will have an upgrade fee. So if you buy the PlayStation 4 version of God of War Ragnarok and you later want to play it on PlayStation 5, you'll have to pay $10 to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version.
Is it only $10?
It's only $10.
Okay.
So, but this starts a firestorm, and it's sort of a debate online about how to handle cross-generation titles. Because there are people that obviously don't have a PlayStation 5 yet. They want to play these games, so they want to get it on PlayStation 4, and then potentially play that with the added benefits of the PlayStation 5 version later when they get a PlayStation 5. So now people are falling into one of a couple different camps. People say, one, that we shouldn't even have these cross-generation titles. We should be developing for the new consoles. You know, that Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok would be better games if they only developed them for PlayStation 5. That we're 2 years into a console cycle, that they should only be on PlayStation 5. There's a group of people that are saying if they're going to be cross-gen, they should offer an ability to upgrade, and they should do it for free. It's only right because it's being made on both consoles. And then there's some people that are saying, yeah, we should be able to get an upgrade, but how is it fair that PlayStation 4 owners can pay $60 and then later upgrade for free, that instead PlayStation 4 owners should pay $10 to upgrade to the more expensive PlayStation 5 version of the game, which retail at $70 instead of $60. So it would be the difference. So, Rich, this is something that I don't think we've ever seen in video games before. This like cross-generation, because going from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, there was no backwards compatibility. We didn't have to deal with this. If you bought a game on PlayStation 3, you were on PlayStation 3. But PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 have sort of muddied the waters here by making games playable, you know, PlayStation 4 games on PlayStation 5, and then also because they're all digital and easy to patch, you know, gamers in their minds are like, well, if you can just add in the higher resolutions, just give it to us. What do you think? This is kind of a tricky situation for these game developers and publishers.
It is, but I think this is one of those situations where you have to look back on the fact that if this was a situation where if it was cartridges back in the 90s, there wouldn't be any sympathy for you because you know, when there was a new console, that was it. You either had one or the other, and
sometimes they went from cartridge to disc.
Yeah, and that was not. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
I would say the $10 fee is probably the best compromise. I would agree that there should be some sort of upgrade fee to make it so, but at the same time, it shouldn't be you have to buy a whole nother copy of the game if you upgrade to PlayStation 5 in the middle of your playthrough.
Right.
Especially when you're talking about games that are so long and so massive. Like, I don't know, maybe God of War comes out. Is God of War going to be on 4?
Yeah, God of War Ragnarok's going to be on 4 and 5.
Okay, well, that's going to be a huge, massive game. Let's say you're 5 hours in on the PlayStation 4 version, and then, I don't know, let's say things get better, and maybe, I don't know, your parent...
You come into a PlayStation 5.
Right, something happens.
Right.
You get a PS5. So what do? Do you just... You have to pay another $80 to pay for the same copy of a game that you already own. I think that's not fair. I think that would be, to me, the worst case scenario out of everything being presented. I think that's the most unfair situation. So I would say there should be some sort of fee, but it should only be the cost between the two generations.
And you know what? I actually agree with you. I think that paying the difference is a fair compromise. You know, I'm not trying to be a corporate apologist here, you know, far from it. But I think it's a little... I don't know if this is a younger generation complaining about these things, because you're right, because back in the day...
You would have no sympathy. That's the way it is.
Forget about back in the day. They are re-releasing Grand Theft Auto 5 again.
Yeah.
There's no upgrade from the PlayStation 4 version to the PlayStation 5 version. They're expecting you to pay $70 for a new version of Grand Theft Auto 5. How about Skyrim? Elder Scrolls Skyrim, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and again, PlayStation 5. What about every time Nintendo re-releases Mario 64 at full price?
Super Mario 64, yeah.
Or Pokemon games at full price. So this is not a new thing, and I think that the $10 difference is more consumer-friendly than what some other developers are doing. Because if we're going to drag Sony here and PlayStation here, we also have to drag Rockstar for their policies on Grand Theft Auto 5, and Bethesda for their policies on The Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and Nintendo for constantly re-releasing every single Super Nintendo game 4, 5, 6 times.
That is true.
This is, so in a weird way, this is something that's never happened in games and something that's always happened in games. I think what makes it different now is because the lines are so blurred between the console generations.
Yeah.
Because before, you're right, it was PlayStation 3 hard stop, PlayStation 4, or PlayStation 1 hard
Nintendo
stop.
64 hard stop, GameCube.
Right, exactly.
Literally cartridge to disc.
Cartridge to disc. There was no way of going back and forth between the two, And when consoles were backwards compatible, developers made a game for PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2, never at the same time. But because of the advent of these digital consoles, things are different because now they're making both versions at the same time. And it's essentially what people are arguing, the same game, just with higher resolutions, faster frame rates, whatever, et cetera, added on. I think that's not telling the whole story because these games are also way more expensive and way more, require way more development on the company's parts. I saw a figure that games are going to, in the next year or two, cost upwards of $230 million to make a game. I mean, these are approaching Hollywood blockbuster levels of development costs.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sitting here saying, we should, again, be corporate apologists and pay whatever, but game prices haven't increased in 15 years. We've been, really think about it. Remember, games used to go up every console generation.
Yep.
And game prices haven't gone up since the PlayStation 3 generation. They've been $60 for a while now.
So it was due.
So it was due. And again, I'm not trying to say like, we should, because preferably I would like to continue paying cheaper prices and upgrade for free. I mean, in a perfect world, that would be the solution, but it's not. And you have to, unfortunately, I think you should support the creators. And I think the $10 difference is a fair compromise. If you choose to buy a cheaper version and then later expect the better version for free, that's just not the way the world works.
No.
Like, imagine if this were any other product. If you go buy a car and then they come out with a new model, you're like, I want to, go up to the next one for free.
That's not how this works.
That's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
Or
another simple solution is go PC.
Or
PC
go
Master
PC.
Race.
You keep saying that, but you don't.
I've been thinking about it, but graphics cards right now are so expensive. But I really do want to.
Are you going to completely forsake consoles for PC?
I don't know. One day I want to build like a massive like PC battle station.
That would be cool.
But I have no money.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that in mind, let's get to the final portion of the show. It's time for some non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo! Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news. He reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that my reaction is my genuine gut reaction to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich Doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths, and I'm ready to get started. Rich, where are we heading to first?
Oh, boy, you're going to love this story.
Uh-oh. All right, what do we got?
First off, it is, of course, a Florida story.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Boy.
Good old Florida.
Wait till you hear what this guy did in an entire day. This
Okay.
guy...
Was he busy?
Very busy.
He had a very packed schedule? Okay.
Very busy Florida man here.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the case of 25-year-old Nicholas Ruthenberg.
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 Wow, that sounds like a right proper name.
Yeah, well, this guy, he's got a lot of things to do.
Okay.
So last Monday, this guy, where do I start? First thing is he got married, so I guess that's good. Congratulations to him. So first off, that happened. That's not even the biggest part of this story. That's like a footnote in this story. So
yikes. So getting married is like the least notable thing that happened.
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
Okay.
So off to a good start then.
Gets married. Then police charge that Nicholas Ruthenberg was driving down the wrong way on a Vero Beach street late Monday afternoon.
Okay.
So there you go. He's already just...
he got... You know what? He just got married. His head's like, all over the place. He's, so filled with emotion and thoughts, and he just... he from the excitement of the day, he doesn't know what side of the road he's driving on. Totally understandable.
Yeah, so and he's got to go to the Vero Beach. Very, very important. He's got to get to the beach.
Exactly.
You get married, then you enjoy the beach.
Well, why not? Yeah, maybe it was a beach wedding. I don't know.
Very good. So on the way down to the beach, he struck a vehicle that was traveling in the opposite direction.
That tends to happen when you're driving in the opposite lane of traffic.
Yeah, sorry, that's not good.
'Cause you done goofed.
Yeah.
Ruthenberg then ran from the scene of the crash.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
So he's then running around this Vero Beach.
Wait, running around or driving around?
He's running because the car's crashed now.
How? Oh, so he abandoned the car.
Yes.
Was the car no longer operational?
I believe so. Police reported that the crash did cause the other person to have to go to the hospital.
Oh my God!
To check his neck, back, and leg for pain. So he did. This was a very serious car accident.
Okay, so gets married. Is he still in his wedding attire?
I don't know.
I like to imagine like he left the wedding, just married. The cans are on the back of the car, and like that's when he crashes. Like he's driving his just married car with the cans into another car, gets out of the car, and he's just like running from the scene of the crime in his wedding, getup. And the bride is like still in the car, freaking out.
Well, the bride's not with him. He's on his own. I don't know what happened. He got married and said, "Bye, honey." Like I got to get to the beach. Sorry.
Thanks, babe. I'll see you later. I'm hitting the town with the guys.
I gotta go to the beach.
Who is this guy?
And this is also Monday afternoon. So
Jesus.
literally.
Also, who gets married on a Monday afternoon?
Yeah. Well, this is happening Monday afternoon. So he must have
got
gotten married
first
like,
thing Monday.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I got to get married early in the morning because I got stuff to do.
I gotta go to the beach.
Look. We got to get this thing done, right? 10 a.m. I got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Because I got to go.
Hurry up. I got to go to the beach. Okay, so gets in this car accident, abandons the car, starts running around the beach.
Okay.
And apparently people were saying that as he was running around, he was screaming at the top of his lungs. So he's just...
As one does when they run.
Just doing this on a loop. Finally, cops arrived. It just took them to now at this point.
Jeez.
For them to finally arrive. They finally subdue him.
Okay.
They took a breathalyzer on him and found he had no alcohol in his system.
Interesting. Drugs then. It had to be drugs.
So
all the drugs. Most of the drugs.
Whatever you want to believe, he was not drunk at this time.
Okay.
He had his alcohol level was 0, so he had no alcohol, not a drink, no congratulatory drink, nothing.
He didn't even have a glass of champagne at the wedding.
Yeah,
nothing?
come on, have at least a glass of something.
That's why he was upset. That's why he was screaming. He didn't have anything to drink at the wedding.
Yeah, just that on a loop.
Just screaming.
Yep. So then at one point, he then started to say that he was a big fan of Donald Trump and started to say, "All hail Donald Trump," as he was being put in the police car. So
I don't know how that's relevant in this situation, but okay.
I'm glad that we know his political preferences.
Sure. Why not? That sounds like a reasonable thing to say to the police.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
He's getting arrested and he's just shouting out people that he likes.
Yes. So then when he was being put into the local county lockup, he agreed to undergo a drug evaluation.
Okay.
But that's when he began acting out of control again. They were going to put handcuffs on him, and that's when he then voluntarily took off his pants, spread his buttocks, and massaged his anus.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
I don't think they actually need to go through with the drug test because whatever that was, I think is proof enough. So he's like, oh, time for the drug evaluation. He just starts circling.
That's a way to get out of being in handcuffs. Don't put handcuffs on me.
The cops don't want to touch his hands after that.
Yeah, I don't want to touch this dude.
It's like, you know what?
Where the hell have your hands have been?
You do you, buddy. And the cops are just standing there like, oh my. Like, what do you do in that situation?
So at this point, that's when the cops were very upset, and they weren't taking this guy's stuff any longer. That's when they had to forcibly put him against the wall for his mugshot. And by the way, I have a photo of this. So for those that are watching the video feed, congratulations, you're going to see this. This is the actual mugshot that they took of this guy. Like, you can see the hands.
Oh my gosh.
You could see the hands trying to prop him up against the wall for the mugshot.
Wow. I've never seen that before where like the police have to like physically shove somebody up for a mugshot. And this dude is pissed. Like,
yes, he is not happy.
Look at that face, man. He's angry.
Come on, man. You just got married. You should be happy. And you can see there's 3 sets of hands because there's a teal color, there's an orange color, and a blue colored glove.
Right. So
there's 3 different people physically restraining him against the wall so they can take a mugshot of him.
Right. So for people just listening, yeah, it's like imagine a mugshot from, the front face and then the profile. He's got like blue hands around his neck. He's got like teal hands like grabbing his jacket and then like orange hands pinning his chest against the wall, and it's all like blurry. It seems like they were like actively struggling with him as they're trying to take these pictures. He's just like shouting too as well. It looks like a little bit.
Yeah, very upset.
Wow, I've never seen that. That's crazy. This dude was not having it, man.
No, this
well, you know what? They interrupted his anus massage.
Yes.
You can't interrupt a good anus massage.
It's my wedding day. I should have my anus massaged.
That's why the bride wasn't with him, because he said, honey, we're married now. And she just right away, she's like, good thing I brought the divorce papers with me because this is Florida.
Yeah.
And then he was so distraught that he drove on the opposite side of the road. That's when he hit the car. He ran away because now he's distraught because he hit the car and he couldn't get his anus massaged and his wife left him.
And he didn't make it to the beach.
That's why he was screaming. See,
Yes.
It all makes sense. See that? If she had just massaged his anus,
this would have been prevented.
That sounds awful. I apologize.
An investigator concluded that, quote, Ruthenberg's behavior was consistent with someone under the influence of a kind of stimulant.
What?
Wow, yeah, what a deduction.
They needed an investigator to figure that one out?
Thank you, Sherlock.
What does that dude make a year? He watched a guy massage his anus. He's like, he's probably on drugs.
Yeah. Ruthenberg was then charged with DUI and leaving the scene of an accident causing serious bodily injury. Guess what? His bond was only $2,000, so he was released. There you go. Not bad.
You know what's really funny? He probably used all the wedding gift money
to
bail himself out of prison.
There you go.
But $2,000? That's it?
Yeah, $2,000. That's it.
What is wrong with...
That's all it took.
Oh, my God.
Also, on a little funny follow-up note, because he mentioned that he loves Donald Trump, they found his voting record in this police report.
Yeah.
They said that he is a registered Democrat and that the email address that he provided when registering is ifarted69@gmail.com.
Oh, my God.
What a legend here. Just
Is this guy 13?
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
There you go.
I farted 69.
That's what he has on his legal voter registration.
Wow.
ifarted69@gmail.com.
This guy is really classy.
I think he should be a Florida Avenger. I don't know what role to put him in, but he should be there.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly he is.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like he should be part of the Florida Avengers.
The massager.
The massager. That sounds really threatening.
Yes.
Given his backstory.
Yes.
The massager. That's how he defeats the criminals. Some guy's like stealing a TV.
And very awkwardly.
Yeah, all of a sudden he feels a little tickle in his rump. Yeah. It's the massager.
Oh no! What are you doing back there?
I'd drop the TV. Just saying.
I may not know my flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yikes.
The massager joining the ranks of the Florida Avengers.
What a busy day the massager had.
Yeah. I love the fact he got married, and that is like the least interesting bit of his day.
Yeah, and how did that day go sideways so fast?
He really wanted to go to the beach? I don't know.
Like he wakes up, first off, a Monday morning wedding?
Yeah. That's a weird time to get married.
That's really odd, right? He wakes up.
Well, he's a very busy man.
He's very busy. He's got things. He's got beaches to see and anuses to massage. Okay? You know, if you don't devote enough time to the anus massage, it's not the same.
It's all over the place.
It's all over. So, you know, he wakes up early, gets married, then just leaves his bride. He's like, bye, honey.
I gotta go.
I gotta go. Proceeds to get into a car accident, flees the scene. You know, he's screaming, running around, doing his whole thing. Gets arrested by the police. And again, just drops his pants and massages his anus during a drug evaluation.
Ready to go.
So weird.
And then, just in case you were wondering, it seems he was on drugs.
Yes. We can't be fully certain.
Right.
But something about all of his previous escapades leads us to believe he may have been on drugs.
Yes. Can I have that guy's job?
Yeah, right? You get to see somebody like completely out of their mind and be like, well, he might be on drugs.
I would wager a guess.
Like, how did they...
He might be on drugs.
Like, what did the evaluation, like, you know, what happened? This guy's just watching this dude and like, yeah, probably.
I'm going to note that in my report.
Yeah.
Touched anus.
Probably on drugs.
Probably drug. So
Wow.
there you go.
What a new Florida Avenger, the massager.
I'm telling you, by the end of the year, we're going to have a full squadron for the Florida Avengers. So there you go. This is Nicholas Ruthenberg. He'll be one of the Florida Avengers. That'll be at the end of the year.
Yes. Oh, definitely. We're keeping track.
Yep. And there you go. That's what I have for you this week in the Non-Fortune Cookie Odd News. What a story. I can't believe getting married is like the most basic, like non-interesting thing that happened in that dude's day.
Yeah, right? Usually that's like the thing that happens. Like usually, like people have been to weddings. Like it's literally an all-day event. Like it's usually the only thing you have time for. This dude got married Monday morning so he could have more time to be crazy.
Yes. All right, and there you go. That's what I have for you this week in the Non-Fortune Cookie Odd News, and that will be it for this week's podcast. We got to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for tuning in on this crazy episode. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that lovely business.
That's right. In addition to all that lovely business, you can also subscribe to the Crispy Noodle podcast channel on YouTube, where you get the video versions of this podcast. But you can also get the audio version of the podcast by subscribing to the Crispy Noodle podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Amazon devices. So make sure you search for, download, and subscribe to the Crispy Noodle podcast on either YouTube or the podcast service of your choice.
That's right. We also have a SoundCloud page where we have mini noodle promos. Go check that out for a quick laugh on the side as well.
That's right. So many ways to get in touch with and share the Crispy Noodle podcast. If you want to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on the Twitters. Let us know what's happening. Let us know if there's a news story that you want us to cover on next week's episode. Let us know if we're dead wrong on our predictions or if we're dead right. Anything. We'll take everything under consideration. And also you can find out what we're up to when we're not doing the podcast as well. So the magic of social media. You can follow us on Twitter and enjoy the sights and sounds and everything that we're up to there as well. But for right now, we are starting to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for supporting us and tuning in every week to the Crispy Noodle podcast. Wednesday night, the video feed goes out. Thursday, the audio podcast goes out on all the podcast platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, all of that lovely apps that you can use to listen to us.
So many apps.
That's right.
We're everywhere.
Yep, so there you go. Check us out on any of those platforms. But for right now, that will do it. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Anything else, Mike?
Go Florida Avengers.
That's right. Florida Avengers assemble. We're getting there. We're going to have a full team by the end of the year.
Oh, you bet.
But for right now, that'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine people.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.